Don't generate leads, create lifelong relationships. So I just got off a call with one of my students and he was a little frustrated because things have been working super well up to this point and he experienced some amazingly quick results in the program. And there can be two sides whenever a student of mine gets those kind of fast results where they get revenue in, where they close some clients in or some people in their network that they figured they had an opportunity to work with. And he was frustrated because leads just weren't rolling in. And while leads are important to any online coach or course creator, sometimes when things aren't working, we have to take a step back and analyze what we're doing as well as where we're coming from so that we can make sure that we're finding the right people to help and to bring into our programs. That way we enjoy being coaches, we show up every single day, and we work with people who give us energy. And so right now, you might be looking at business in August 2020, crazy world that we're in, right? And you might be thinking there's not enough money coming in. And so you might think that the problem is lead gen, but chances are it's one of these actual three problems, and they're a bit deeper, that you want to solve before you move on and go and generate more leads, because that can just create a big headache for you and for your team if you have one, and then you end up wasting a bunch of time with people who aren't qualified for your help, who maybe don't even want your help. They need your help, they don't want your help, and you end up having people who are considering the value of your program versus a refund, or is it going to work, is it not? And sometimes those people, if that's all you're working with, just isn't fun. And it makes you kind of become dejected from your online business. If this is the first time that we're meeting, my name is Jeremy Montoya, and over in Personal Freedom Mentoring, my full-time business, we help people who are existing online coaches who feel like the lead gen and the sales and their actual program isn't working in this kind of new era that we're in, and they're ready to just be helping more people. So a lot of the folks that we help have an email list and an audience and an offer, and then we also help you get up to speed if you are committing to being an online coach or a course creator. So if we haven't met before, thanks so much for being here. So the big problem with generating leads is that you can create an influx of problems if you don't have the right mindset and the right core beliefs in place to be attracting those right people. And so better than going out and generating leads, which is the short-term play, which is the short-term tactic, which might help you for right this second, but isn't gonna solve your problems. And I'm here to solve your problems. All right, truthfully, I want you to have a business that you enjoy. And if you are just constantly doing lead gen and it isn't working yet, let's take a step back here together today and just focus on what we can control, what we can do to make sure that we're actually attracting the people into our world that we want. And strategy number one that we have to be thinking about is value. With many of my students, I can hear in their words, I can tell very quickly if they are thinking about themselves first or if they're thinking about the client first. And yes, we must, when we're setting up our online business, we must understand what the business does for us first. This is putting your mask on. We have to know how much money needs to come in for us to be full-time in it. We have to know how we can get out of our day job and be full-time in it so we can support the clients and so that we don't just start another hobby, so that we actually start a thriving online business that helps us to hit our revenue goals and hit our life experience goals as well. And he was frustrated, and I could tell in his words that he was thinking himself first. And that's okay, that happens, especially when you're getting started. And what I challenge him to do, and what I wanna challenge you to do here today, is to lead with their goals with everything that you do. We have to think about what they are wanting and what they're thinking to get in their mind so that we can make sense to them of our offer and how we want to help them. And the issue is if we use a lot of words about me and I and my program and our program and those sorts of things, is that their mind isn't going to be able to rationalize what this means to their goals because they're only thinking one question. And that question is simple. It's what's in it for me? We're all thinking it. And so we have to, in everything that we do, lead with what's in it for them in our headlines, in our subject lines, in the email body copy, in trainings just like this, in our free content, in our social posts. And if people aren't interacting, it's because we aren't leading with them in mind. We aren't putting them in the driver's seat in our world and inserting them and allowing for them to experience. So that's thing number one, is we have to lead with their goals in mind with everything that we do. If we're gonna pitch them on something, if we're gonna get them bought into something, energetically, if we're gonna sell them a package, we have to lead with their goals first and what it means for them. And a simple thing that you can do is to stop selling your program the way that you would sell it and use their goal as what your program does. So yes, my program, for instance, in Shortcut, it's a live workshop that we do. It helps you install the 7 projects to get up to speed as an online business owner. But you probably aren't thinking about, I need to go install these 7 projects. You're probably thinking about what do you need to do right now to start bringing some money in. And so that's how the workshop's engineered. And so if that's your concern as we're talking about it, or maybe we're having a conversation over coffee, forget the 7 projects. I'm just gonna be focusing on which of the modules are gonna help you to generate money now and focus in there. And when we do that, they start asking us the questions. The second thing that we have to do is we always have to lead with value first. And I know a lot of you guys are doing this, but sometimes we get so good at it that we forget we're doing it. And so then sometimes we don't do it as well in the other areas of our business. And so what I want for you to think is when people interact with you, are you benefiting more than them or are they benefiting more? And I want for you to think about your conversation structure when you're talking with your people. Is it more about you and them working with you, or is it more about their goals and what you could do for them that helps them to get there, or what resources or what video or what free stuff you have that can get them there? And so we have to lead with value. It's often like on a website. A lot of coaches come to me that have these beautiful, complex websites that don't do anything for their business. And in my opinion, having a website for most people just ends up hurting their business more than it does help them, because they take weeks, they're never done. And they typically don't convert much because no one wakes up going to check websites anymore. They check social media. And on top of that, most people have a website with a beautiful header that has them in a headline, and then their newsletter is buried far down in the copy. And that's an example of not leading with value and leading with yourself. And what we want to do instead is take the value, your newsletter or your free thing, out of the footer and put it up at the top. One of my mentors called this the upside down homepage, and it's a perfect example of how you lead with value. You are not important. You have to lead with that value, and you have to be helping the sort of people and giving them what they want versus what you want. And when you do that, my prediction is that you have a flood of people in line and in queue ready to work with you over a longer period of time. The next thing we want to do in terms of building lifelong relationships is pretty simple, and I think a lot of people think they do it, but we don't spend enough time trying to figure out how we can really do this and do it well. Whenever I share this specific idea, there's always a chance that this kind of looks or sounds snake oily. If you know me, you know that's not the case, and you know how much this does for your people if you've worked with me and if you've installed this project into your coaching business. And that is simple. It's UPOD. It's under promise and over deliver. It's at every single corner. You're sweetening the deal for your people, for choosing to work with you, for continuing to work with you, for renewing their membership with you, for getting results. We're doing everything we can to under promise and over deliver. And so at every single corner, there's kind of like a bonus surprise waiting for them. There's more than meets the eye, and they're constantly just being wowed on top of the result that they're getting. You have their back, and you're giving them even more than they paid for. In fact, we aim in personal freedom mentoring and with our students to have programs that pay themselves back in the first 60, if not preferably 30 days. That way, no one ever questions the investment for your program. They feel like they've, in the beginning, gotten all of the value for the next 12 months because we build year-long programs. And we end up just creating a system people want to be a part of, that they want to kind of play or engage with us, and they start asking us the questions. And when we do that, the selling doesn't need to happen. We just got to figure out the best starting point and sort them out and figure out where we should go from there. I hope that this was helpful. And if you are a brand new online coach and you don't have the right offer yet, maybe the right audience, you just aren't that confident in some of those things, then I want for you to join my free group. So leave a comment group below and I'll send you your own invite so you can request access and get around other coaches who are solving those problems in their business and quickly going out and finding the right people and getting their first or their next clients if you've been experiencing a drought. And if you are an existing online coach and maybe you're struggling in this new technological era of connecting with the right people, of making sure your business has the ability to grow and to thrive during this time, then I want you to leave a comment with the word private, and I'll reach out to you, or you can send me it via DM, and let's have a conversation about where you're at and where you want to be over the next 6 to 12 months. That way we can figure out a very specific strategic plan to help you to get there, so you have more people to add value to lead with their goals, and to under promise and over deliver. And when you have those things, it's my prediction that you wake up super excited about your business, engaged with it, and pumped every day to show up. So that's it for me. I'll see you in the group, or hopefully in the DM on a quick call, so we can figure out how we can get you back on track and get you to where you want to be. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.